What's up YouTube, Brownie here, coming to you with another video, and today we're going to do a little bit of a follow-up video to my last one, the team building video I did, where I went from the point of view that I have an account with like 7 Transcendence heroes, and I built a team around Mockman with basically just him being the homeowner and what kind of heroes I would put around him. And I just talked about like the decisions I made and basically why I made the decisions and all that stuff. So if you guys are interested in that kind of info, go ahead, check that video out. I'll put a link in the description for you. This one's going to be talking about Mockman's enables and the artifacts that I use on him mostly. And so really it's pretty simple. He's not over complicated with these two parts of the game, with your artifact choice and your enables. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about the stone choice too, but excuse me. That's it's stone choices are much more based on your personal account and what stats you need on your Mockman. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into Mockman's character screen here. And the first one here that we're going to talk about is melodic strings. And when do you generally use melodic strings on Mockman? And that's usually if Mockman is the fastest hero on the battlefield, so he's going before the enemies. Melodic strings is a perfect artifact for him to use, because he's not going to have to take any attacks before he gets his turn, so he'll probably clear out a good chunk of the enemy team with his round 1 active, and then your team is left with only needing to deal with maybe 3 or 4 basic attacks from the enemy. So melodic strings, the first thing I think about when I want to use this artifact is Mockman fast enough to use it? If he's not fast enough, then I go to, well, what kind of enemies am I fighting against? Am I fighting against assassins that constantly target the lowest HP hero? Am I fighting against enemies that constantly hit the front line and not the back line? Or am I fighting against AoE heroes that hit everybody all the time? If it's the last one I mentioned, the AoE heroes, I'm probably not going to use melodic strings, because he probably won't be able to survive the barrage of attacks that an AoE team would do. So in that case, I would switch to Crown. And Crown is really the only other artifact I run on him. And when I run Crown, basically when he's slower than the enemy, and he's going to be taking quite a few attacks, and I need him to survive. And a lot of times he'll take enough attacks that he gets an active round 1 anyway. And another key thing about Mockman is I always run Balanced Strike on him, so he's still doing a ton of damage with his actives and using a Crown. But yeah, it's pretty much that simple. Honestly, there's not a whole lot of different situations that you're gonna run into, aside from like, you know, CC waves and things. But really, your artifact choice is still gonna come down to like speed and is he able to survive with melodic strings or not? And if he isn't, Crown's the choice. Some people might be saying use Purple Fan, but in PvE, Gilded Purple Fan is not as good. It's basically if Gilded Purple Fan, if you're wearing it and the enemy can't break your shields that HHA is providing, you don't need Gilded Purple Fan, because Crown will still take care of the problem. And every time you run Gilded Purple Fan, you run the risk of losing your shield and then losing all of your damage reduction. So it's not that great of a choice for PvE content. Crown, if you lose your shield, you still have 25% all damage reduction. So it just becomes an all-around better artifact for PvE content. Now, yeah, I mean, honestly, that's about it for the artifacts. It's not, it's not that, yeah, it's just not that complicated, really. Also, I did want to mention, if your Mockman is slower than enemy and just can't outspeed him, then don't think about speed anymore. Don't have a speed stone. If you were running a speed stone, switch it to something like holy damage precision, or holy damage skill damage, precision skill damage. You know, whatever stone that's super offensive is going to give you more damage, because speed doesn't matter anymore if you can't outspeed them. Also, that's going to make you switch your enables to mightiness instead of the speed ones. And yeah, you should be running balanced strike on Mockman. Mockman has a problem with self-preservation. Even though he has this heal on his basic, it, for whatever reason, does not heal him for crap. So this 15% heal, which is less than his the 18% one that he has on his basic, does, however, heal him like pretty much to full on his basic attack and his active. So running balanced strike gives you more survivability than running unbending will, and it also gives you a ton more damage. It gives you so much more damage. The reason it also gives you more survivability is because Mockman, if he's getting hit down to unbending will layers very fast, and he is doing his basic or whatever, if he doesn't heal enough, those unbending will layers are going to be gone in a second, and he's going to have like a sliver of health, and he'll just die. And you won't have gotten any extra damage, and you didn't get any extra attacks off. So being able to fill your health bar back up is so much more important than having those 4 layers of shields. And yeah, I mean, I can't really stress enough how important balanced strike is on Mockman. I run it about 90% of the time. If you were running unbending will on your Mockman, give this a shot. Try balanced strike with Crown, and yeah, you might love it. If your Mockman and your team is built well enough to support him, he'll pop off. And then I only ever run lethal fight back with him. And then enable 3 is obviously based on the situation. If you need CC removal, just run that. If you need dot removal, you know, whatever it is, just run that one based on the situation you're in. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about in this one. I didn't want to go too in depth on all the things at once. I'll do some more videos about Mockman, like maybe which star spawns to prioritize if you have a Mockman account. All those kinds of things we'll probably talk about and whatnot. But if you guys have any ideas for me, let me know in the comments, please, because I run out of ideas, or I draw blanks on ideas all the time. And knowing what you guys might want to learn about or just get my perspective on would be really cool, and I'd love to make videos about it. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.